I mentioned the issue of immigration last night. You think of the situation we face today, a crisis with doctors, not enough, especially in the regions, a crisis with teachers, not enough, a crisis with housing, not enough, a crisis with energy, I'll come to that shortly, not enough, a crisis on the roads, congestion everywhere, and yet here we are this year, overseas migration, net 563,000. 100,000 more than the entire population of the ACT. This is 1 year. Add foreign students, the student visas in September totaled 650,000. 10 years ago, 340,000. The Labor government has gone mad, and I'll look at that in a moment, but this immigration is a massive issue, massive in America, and I'll talk to Peggy shortly. Suella Braverman has been sacked by a weak British Prime Minister Sunak because she addressed the issue of immigration and tied it up with what she called a month of grotesque anti-Semitism, a weekly celebration, she said, of racist terror, disguised very unconvincingly, she said, as peace marches. Now, Braverman is right. These peace marches, so-called, have been displays of blatant racism. Placards reading, "You're either on the white or right side of history. Kill all the Jews. Hitler was right." These are naked displays of hate. And as I've said, existential threats. We don't want racial hatred of any kind on our streets. As Braverman has said, this has to be addressed. In her explosive letter of resignation to Prime Minister Sunak, he demanded the resignation. The talented Braverman, whose one black mark, I might say, is that she voted against Boris Johnson, but she accused Sunak in her letter of resignation of, quote, "your failure to rise to the challenge posed by the increasingly vicious anti-Semitism and extremism displayed on our streets since Hamas's terrorist atrocities of October 7, unquote." Wrote Braverman to Sunak, "I've become hoarse, urging you to consider legislation to ban hate marches and help stem the rising tide of racism, intimidation and terrorist glorification threatening community cohesion," unquote.